Hello everyone, and welcome to the second video in the help series for the Research Participation Scheme, also known as SONA. So in this video we'll be looking at setting up a SONA, a participant account on SONA. So this is really aimed at students in level 4 and level 5, where you want to get started taking part in other people's research, and you want to start collecting your research credits. So this is how to set up a participant account so you can take part in both staff and student projects as they become available on SONA. So for every 15 minutes of participation that you engage in, then you should be able to collect one research participation credit. So that means, say, that if you want to take part in a piece of research that takes 30 minutes to complete, on average, then you should be able to collect 2 credits for that. And what that means is that you are collecting credits in your final year. You can cash in to recruit participants yourself, but also you're taking part in that community and supporting staff and students in their research activities, and that's really good experience as well. So we suggest you collect 16 credits in the first year of studies and 16 credits in your second year of studies, but as long as you've collected 32 credits by the time you want to take participation out, as it were, of the SONA system, of the Research Participation Scheme, for your final year research project, that's what matters. So we suggest 16 credits a year, just so that you've got somewhere to aim for each year, just so that it's a manageable number to collect for each year. But if you haven't got 32 credits by the time you want to start using SONA to advertise your research in your final year, don't worry, you can just keep taking part in other people's research as you go along until you hit that threshold. So as a reminder, where all the information about SONA can be found, you just need to log into Blackboard. If you go to the psychology page under My Organisations here, this is where all the information generally about your degree is kept. And if you click on this folder and you come to the Research Participation Scheme on the left hand side, if you click on that tab, all the information we're looking at today is contained there. So you can see there is a PDF and a Word version of the same thing, and these are instructions of how to set up your participant account on SONA. There's a link to SONA as well, but if you want the web address of SONA, it's this one. Now just be careful if you are looking at SONA, if you're searching for it using Google, because it might actually find the University of Worcester, Massachusetts SONA system, and you obviously can't use that one. So make sure you're using the right one, and then we can start and set up an account. So when you click on that link, it will look like this, and what we're going to be doing is looking at requesting an account. So this is the page on Blackboard where the information is stored. If the instructions are updated, then they will be, if they have to be revised, then the instructions will be updated here as well. So these are valid as of the academic year 1920. So the instructions look like this. So what we need to do is to use your university information. So for your user ID, then we advise using the first part of your University of Worcester email address. For the email address that you use to set up the account, you must use your university email address. Okay, so not a personal address, not Hotmail or Outlook. This will just make the process easier to use. We suggest you don't have to include a telephone number, and I would argue it's best not to include a telephone number, because that will be displayed on any advert. So if you don't want your telephone number being displayed to all of the students or all of the staff members using the School of Psychology Research Participation Scheme, then it's best not to add that. You also need to choose a course. If you click on Psychology Undergraduate, it just sets the threshold for the number of credits you need to collect, so make sure you choose the right one there. Okay, So that's what we'll have a look at now. So we'll visit SONA and just click on, and it'll take you to this page. So what we need to do is to go to request an account. You need to obviously put your first and last name in here. If you can imagine, if I have a student email address for this year, it might look something like this. So I'd use for my user ID the first part of that. This is just a fictional email address, but I would then put the full email address in here. As I said, it must be your university email address. Now make sure as you're typing this out that you are that there are no spelling mistakes or anything like that. That you have got all the dots in there that there should be, just because sometimes we can have a problem. So as I said, I really wouldn't put a telephone number in there, but you can if you want to. And then you would need to choose Psychology Undergraduate, and then you click on Request an Account. So when you do that, you will get an email address sent to your University of Worcester email address. It will give you, it will tell you your username. It will give you a temporary password, which you need to change once you've got signed in for the first time. But that's how you can request the account. So, okay, we'll imagine that we've now got our account set up. So what's the important information here? So we have information about changing the password. Now the first time you do this, you should change it to a strong password. Don't just use the default that you were sent. So you can change your email address here. You can modify contact information here. You get a summary of the number of credits that you have earned, the number of credits that are pending. So that's when you have taken part in research, you signed up, but perhaps the researcher is still collecting data and hasn't awarded the credits yet. You can check if you have any upcoming appointments. So if you've signed up to an interview study and you've got a date for participation coming up, some information would be here. So we can see that we need to collect 32 credits, and to actually start collecting credits, what we could do is click on View Available Studies. And here, these are all of these studies that are currently live. You can find out some information, some basic information about the research, just from kind of reading through these. They're not in any particular order, they're on a random order. So perhaps we're interested in this, we want to learn out some more. Okay, so you can see it's an online study, so we can complete that online. You will go to another website, and we can see, okay, this is for year 2 students, so students in level 5. And the researcher here is Dr. Di Hagney, so that's a member of staff. It'll take around 10 minutes to complete, and we can earn 1 credit for taking part in that. And so this is some information about the research and why it's being conducted. So if this is something that you wanted to take part in, what you could do now is go to View Time Slots for the study. And because this is an online study, quite often there's only one sign-up slot that everyone can sign up to, which is the date that the research will close by. So we would just go to Sign Up. And then if we're happy with this, we want to take part, we click on Sign Up again. What that means is we'd now be signed up. So in order to collect a credit, what we have to do is to complete the survey. So if we click on this link, it'll take us to an external website where we'll take part in the research. If I come back out of that now and I go to my schedule, my credits, we can see that I have signed up to a study. That I'm awaiting action from the researcher to grant credits. And what can happen is that if you sign up to something but don't take part, you don't contact the researcher in a timely fashion to tell them that you no longer want to take part, you can end up accruing penalties, which means you have to collect additional credits, so more than 32 credits, in order to be able to use the system. And so what we're trying to avoid there is people signing up, particularly to things like interview-based studies, signing up for a particular time and then not attending and not giving a reason why, not cancelling in a timely manner. Now that's problematic for a number of reasons. It can be very challenging as a researcher, but it can also be frustrating as well. So be aware that if you know you're not going to take part in that research anymore, make sure that you cancel in a timely manner, and we can say, yes, I want to cancel that. Okay, so now the researcher knows, okay, I'm not going to take part in the research, and I excuse myself before the date has passed. Okay, so this is really what you'll be doing. You can come look at the studies at any time. You can look at the credits, study sign-ups, if there are any deadlines here, and you can keep an eye on how many credits you've earned, how many credits are pending being awarded by researchers, and what your requirement is. Okay, so that's a whistle-stop tour, setting up an account as a participant. I would say that if you are a level 6 student and you want to advertise your research on SONA, there is an additional help video in the folder on Blackboard that talks you through the process and what you need to consider. If you do have any questions that haven't been answered by this video, please feel free to get in touch with us using this email address. Thank you very much, and good luck with your research participation.